I wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm just gonna stick to the social chats logo. I'll log into my personal one later, but I want to say hi everyone and welcome everyone to our NFTs for a cause, where we figure and we feature a project that we find is so empowering and making a difference in that community and giving back and very organized. So I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host for my social chats wellness space, which is Lynn Health. And she's here with us, and she just happened to like tell us about the new project she's involved in. She actually reached out to us, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's talk some more about it." So, Linda, how are you? And then I'm gonna move on to I'll go ahead and let me bring up Stuart too. Speak. And
Yes.
hi, Lars. How are you?
Good morning, Connie.
Okay, so good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. I know it's evening over there in LA, but it's all good. Thank you so much for yeah, putting having us on your amazing show.
No, I appreciate you for joining us. I'm gonna go ahead and invite everybody, give everyone a mic, and with this because again, we like the snippets, so I try to like open up the space and talk a little bit about it, and then kind of give the mic to each of our guests. So I wanted to welcome Jody Chadman up to this space. She's the co-founder and CEO of SBNS NFT, and you were previously the chief of staff for Boss Beauties. I know a lot about them. I thought we featured them in one of my segment for some reason in the early days, but I'm excited for you to be here, and I'm excited about your project because I actually looked at your YouTube channel, and I love the fact that you're bringing spirituality to Web3, which is so important, and everything your whole roadmap and how everything was written up. I really enjoy it. So, I love to give you the mic and go ahead and give us a little information about yourself and what's going on. I think you're minting today, and a little bit about your project. And Stu, I gave you the mic, so I'd love for you to join us if you get a chance. But again, welcome, and Vicky, hello, how are you? Jody, the mic is yours.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the invitation to join you on this space. We are really excited to be here and really excited that we get to have this conversation because it is something that is part of the very DNA of spiritual beings, is to have a cause, is to make some significant difference and change some of the atmosphere in whatever space we're in. So so for me personally, I've been in the Web3 space since July 2021. August 2021, which was, quite a fun time to come into the space. It was booming, and the bull was really coming right in. And so I was working with a company in Manhattan, in New York, that was mentoring Gen Z women and girls. And the business model was under a lot of stress with COVID and all sorts of things happening. And so there was a decision from actually the founder's husband that came. It was only herself and me working in the company and mentoring these girls, and they basically had a call with me the day after World of Women launched and minted out, and said, "Do you know what an NFT is?" And it was, I said, "Yeah, my son's talked about Gary V." Very, very vague understanding, but that was really, they, said, "We want to do something. We think that." The company that we're working on now, My Social Canvas, would be a perfect fit. Would you do this with us? And so it was an easy yes for me. I really had no idea what I was leaping into, but we worked night and day tirelessly for the next 6 to 7 weeks. And we launched Boss Beauties at that point and sold out 10,000 collection in 90 minutes. So it was this wild ride. And then we buckled down and started building out the brand from there and what that looked like. So, yeah, we had I was the chief of staff there, and got to see the other side of launch as well, which was fascinating. So for me, pivoting then into spiritual beings has been, it's been amazing, because I've been able to take that experience of what's needed, not only just in pre-launch, but then what's going to be needed once we launch, and have a collection with 3,000 people saying when, and what that looks like and what needs to be in place. So spiritual beings has been able to be built out from the ground up with a lot of intention and forward planning, preemptiveness about it, to know I know what a good collection needs and what we need to make sure that we incorporate. And it's all been really based on that foundation of bringing spirituality into Web3, bringing something that our whole team are passionate about, that we believe in, and that we know makes a very real difference, not only just in the space as a whole, but in individual people's lives. So we're here authentically. We're here for an amazing journey. And I love that we can now also incorporate saving a college as we launch, and really putting into practice everything that we have based our collection in. We've always said that actions speak louder than words. And for us, pledging a third of our gross revenue to help save a college that is centered in forming spirituality within their students is something that we can do, that lets us enter this space with a real intention and a real action behind it, that says we are who we say we are going to do what we say we're going to do, and it's going to not be small. We're going to be audacious and not ever apologize for that. So that's just a bit of an overview, Tonya, for you, of just kind of where we've come from and where we're headed to.
Well, I also would like to know what the connection is. But before we do, I'd love to say hi to Stuart and welcome Stuart to the stage. And I'd love to get to know more about Stuart. Can you tell us about yourself? And then I'd like to know more about the connection between the King's College and each one of your members. And again, I really studied everything about your project, and I love what you're doing. I think we do need that whole the spirituality, and I can hear it, so I just want to know more about it. So, but Stuart, how are you? How's it
Wonderful,
going?
going well, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to our time, and I guess good evening, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from this part of the world as well as we start Monday. But thank you for that very kind and wonderful introduction for us to be able to be on here today. So yeah, I'm Jodie's husband, and the experience of launching and really in being in concept stage with spiritual beings was to be preemptively uh, purposeful about how we could utilize and integrate parts of life that we thought were missing from within the space, the experience of burnout in the space and of just being on this treadmill within this NFT space through the bull market was very clear that people were burning out, and it was just a really really hectic time. So when the when the process of downing tools and looking at Jodie's experience through Boss Beauties and really through that bull market experience was an opportunity for us to be able to look at the space, uh, assess and see where our strengths were, assess and see where the market was going, and what we could do to bring something unique to the space on at scale. And my background is in financial markets. I've been in financial markets for 27 years, and as a as someone in those markets, I always enjoyed looking at the crypto markets, which were wild from the space of you know who's moving the market, what what are the dynamics behind how things are moving in the NFT market at the time. When I first started to look at it with more serious eyes, was like, wow, this is actually pretty wild, um, exciting. Yeah, the dopamine rushes were pretty real. So it's interesting to be on a longer term journey and to look at it from a longer term perspective, and that's what we've done over the last 12 months. Is really some really strong, purposeful architecture and planning around what it is now to launch something that is preemptively thinking long term, well and truly before you start to invite other people into it. So that's where we are now, and it's a different market, it's a different world, and yet the same needs and the same wants and the same desires still remain. So I think it's still an exciting time, and I think the idea of what we're going to talk about today in terms of mass adoption and how to utilize this technology is we're still at the early stages of it. So yeah, thank you for having us today. It's wonderful to be here.
Hey, Carlos, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm back here as myself.
He did a quick change. So, so what? Can you tell us what are the connection between the King's College? Because I have a lot of friends from New York, and actually I used to go to New York quite a bit, and so I know a lot about the liberal arts school, and I have so much empathy for the school, especially what that's happened to them, the way New York is, and I'm sure a lot of during the last 3 years, much of made a huge difference for their lives. So and also for students who have to go there and for the teachers and everything. So what is the connection? Did anyone on your board or anyone in your project went to school there, or is just someone just happened to mention it to you?
No, actually, the connection's very personal. So Stuart and our daughter's actually a junior at the King's College. So it really is affecting our family in real time. So she is a junior. She went to middle school and high school in Manhattan in the city. And then King's was always the college that she wanted to go to. So she graduated and took a gap year actually, and then went into King's College. And she had done a summer academy there, and we had a little bit of a taste of it. And we're friends with the some of the faculty and president. And so then when she stepped into it, it was just really one of those places where we couldn't imagine her being at any other college. It was just phenomenal. And the people that she has met, I mean, she met the man she's about to marry there. It's just been so much a part of our family, and we have all just loved that she's been there. So obviously when the news started to filter out only just a couple of months ago, when the situation itself started to become more evident, it was a very personal thing for us. And as we shared with our team, they all felt the same empathy and the same sense of connection to the King's College, and the same excitement that we could actually do something here. So there is, that immediate connection with Stuart and I, but then the whole team really, Lynn is very close, and her husband with Madeline, and Ben, and our family. And so I think they were even with us when she got the acceptance letter. That's just been a shared journey. So I think that there is that deep sense of really having that buy-in that's more than just a business decision, or it's more than just picking a charity or picking a good cause. It actually is very personal, and I think that's what makes it even more significant and makes the story even richer again.
Thank you for sharing with that. Yes, it's definitely, and it makes it's something that when you make a difference within your community and make it, especially when it comes to education, I think, and also during the times like college and schools and those early years, I feel it makes a huge difference in who the person are, who they become. So yeah, so let's talk a bit more about your project and the NFT. So and what was it like? Why 33%? Like, why not 80%, 50%, 20%? Why is there a significant reason why they decided to choose that much? So you can we can talk about the NFT project in itself. So and the art in itself, and the process. Would you mind, Jody?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So 33% actually worked out to be the shortfall figure that King's needed to raise by the end of the academic year. And so that was what they had to raise. And so we wanted to be able to actually meet their need. Not to just give a portion of that, but actually say this is what they need and this is what we are going to pledge to do. So I think for us it was an all in, and it was, it's radical generosity. One of the core values of spiritual beings is to have a spirit of generosity, and as I said, this is an opportunity for us to not just talk it but actually live it out. And so, you know, this is our Genesis collection. We are a brand new brand and project, and yet we spoke with every member of our team, and it was a unanimous decision that this is what we would pledge to do. So that is where that breakdown came from. And you know, for us, it's quite poetic in a way. I gave up believing in coincidences a long time ago, but the art for this project is based on the story of the Valley of Dry Bones. Now, that is a story where there is a picture of just desolation. There's a picture of just things that haven't worked. In fact, not worked to the point where those bones weren't just a little bit, you know, been there for a little while. Like, they were dry bones. They had been there for a long time. And the symbolism of that, it just catches me, you know. Sometimes I don't think we ever could have imagined when we first started Spiritual Beings what that valley was actually going to look like, what some of those bones were actually going to be made up from. And so for us, it represents, maybe it's the NFT market itself, maybe, you know, it's the King's College, it's individual dreams and purposes and mission, and maybe relationships, and all sorts of things make up those bones. And so for us, it was a story of that this is where it may start, but it's not where the story ends. In fact, what happens through an experience in spirituality, an experience of you know, the question is asked right at that story: can these bones live? And it's a story where we have just said yes, and we believe it, and we've put everything into that. And that's the space that we come from, is that faith step that says yes, they can. And whatever this valley looks like, we believe that new life can come. And in that story, it is that sense of having a spiritual encounter where the spirit does come over those bones and they form into a skeleton. And it is from there that then flesh and they become this mighty army, and off they go. And so our PFPs, our main characters of this whole collection, are skeletons, and it's kind of flipping the narrative on that. Sometimes you may see a skeleton and think it represents death, but for spiritual beings, it represents a coming together. It represents those bones rattling and forming back into a skeleton and going with that purpose and intent of new hope, new life, faith. And so that really is where our art was inspired from. So all through our art, there are different traits. There are different just Easter eggs, I guess, baked into our art that are very symbolic and have meaning and significance behind them. So you will see as the art reveal happens, you know, in that season of our launch, where you'll start seeing some of these characteristics in our art that you may recognize immediately, and you may not. You may go back and see things in a different way. But for us, it was a very intentional art. Now, our artist who has done these has had incredible success in the NFT space herself, and she gathered you know, a wonderful group of artists that worked on this. And you know, she was able to just do an incredible job of just reflecting and representing the heart of spiritual beings and this story, and just injecting fun into that and a sense of life. And I think that every PFP you'll see, every spiritual beings NFT you will see, there is fun in it. There's life, there's color, there's vibrancy, and it's the opposite of dead and hopeless and gone. So yeah, that's just a little bit there. I see hands up, so I'm going to give the mic over at this point. But yeah, that's just a little bit of the financial part of that, and also the art of our collection.
Tonya, just excuse me, Lynn. Normally, I will give you the mic first, but this is a problem of timing, because I have a couple of mathematical questions regarding what Jody was just saying. The first thing is that I just want to share something with you, that you were talking about the Tonya did ask you about why 33%. How did you come with the figure? And every time that 33% comes across into my path, communicationally speaking, I remember an old mathematics teacher I had. I am 62 years old now, so I'm talking about high school. And it was something, it's not necessarily funny. It's just curious. It's a mnemotechnic trick or something. Because he said to make us remind us that 33% is just like almost a perfect split of 100% in three parts. It's just like splitting 100 in three. It's just like 33% point something, okay? He said, remember always that 33% is the amount of kid that should have been. I mean, imagine the Solomon. Remember the Bible story with the two women fighting about a kid, and they were fighting. I mean, who was the real mother? And he said, "Oh, split the boy in the middle," and he gave it to the woman that accepted to give it to the other woman. He said, "Well, 33% is what happened. What would have happened in case there were three women involved, instead of only two, which is just like Solomon will have said, is like, okay, we're going to split this in three instead of two." So I always remind that, and it helped me because sometimes you're like, how much is 33%? I said, one third of 100. And the second question, I don't know if his spiritual being is going to talk or not with Mike later, but he has, they had in the bio, it says in the spiritual being that the collection has 11,111 pieces. I would like to know why that number, because we all know the 11 hour with the 11 minutes sing, and this in this case is like five numbers, five ones instead of four, and it makes a difference. It's just like 11,111. Why that number?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't know, Stu, did you want to answer this one, or do you want me to take it? We both have lived this one, that's for sure.
No, you take it. You do it. Yeah, please. I'll jump in when you want me to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So 11,111 was very purposeful. Again, I think everything about our collection, and thank you for your insight into that number. I agree with the 33%. It is just a really clean, beautiful way to just segment something into thirds. And you're right, they would, in Solomon's story, if it had been three women before him, that's what he would have suggested. So I love that you had that insight there. That's really great. So for 11,111, 1111 has always been a significant number for us personally, and just in our spiritual journey. It's something that has been featured and come in a lot into different stories and to different situations and circumstances. And we're actually talking with one of our artist ambassadors who is leading a lot of our utility and a lot of our gather events. And she was talking about the number 1111 and very similar type experiences that she was having. And 1111 for her, and for us, as we looked at different Bible references and looked at different ways that this was speaking to us, was ultimately a call to great faith. 1111 represented being called to have great faith, audacious faith, that faith that moves mountains, the faith that is something that we aspire to be. So for us, we had originally a 10,000 collection. And it was like, what, we need to herald this collection, and we need to bake right within it that idea of this is being birthed out of great faith. This is our mandate, I guess, and our declaration over this collection. So instead of 10,000, we added 1,111 to it. We added the 1111 to it, and we came with an 11,111 collection. And so for us, that's really exciting, because every time I see that, even in print, or I talk about it, or it's just reminding me again of, I'm speaking this out in faith, that this is going to be a collection that, even from the very numerology of it all, and just the way, numbers are a huge part of spirituality, and numbers are a huge part, even as you've referenced in the Bible. 7 days is that number of completion. There's so many different numbers, and I love it, and I love having that significance to it. So that's where the 11,111 came from.
And you know what's funny? That somehow, I mean, since that point of view or perspective you're mentioning, it's just like you could say that it is a round number. Actually, visually, it's not a round number, because anywhere there is nothing round in that number, because it's just like 5 sticks or 5 straight lines. But it's a round number in the meaning. So I do adore that. And I think that, oh my goodness, this is so important. I mean, yesterday I was just listening to a podcast from a guy from Spain, and my goodness, the importance of having 1 day of rest. Oh, Tonya, you won't like this comment because it says that the secret of happiness and money in abundant proportions is just like doing what the Bible said God did. It's like he worked hard 6 days, and in the 7th he rest. You need to you choose the day. It can be Wednesdays, it can be any day of the week, but you really need to set a change of pace every week, totally. I mean, and try to disconnect, and specifically in so many ways. I mean, we have so many ways of creating a resting day to day. Just turning off our cell phones, that will make a whole life of difference, and a whole world of difference. Can you imagine? It's like, okay, my non-scrolling day will be Fridays, and you get off, and then you retake that on Saturdays. But I'm worried about Lynn, because with my mathematical excuse, I took away her turn, and I would like to listen to her speaking. She has been. Your arm must be aching. You have been too long.
No,
Raising your arm.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Wow, absolutely not. I am actually blown away by this conversation, and the way that you've brought in that mathematical equation, because, like you said, the Bible, and Jody said, is full of those mathematical equations. We look at Noah's Ark. When you look at Noah's Ark, when it's a mathematical genius, shipbuilding. And, I mean, at the end of the day, this conversation is giving me goosebumps. I don't know about anyone else in the conversation, but just hearing you talk about the 33%, Jody talking about the 1111, and I know Jody introduced story, and I just want to go back a little bit to what Jody said about Madeline. We were actually having a pre-Christmas lunch at our friend's house together, and Madeline started screaming. She got an email, and I'll never forget it. We got goosebumps. My husband was there, and she was crying and quivering and saying, "Mom, I've just got a scholarship at the King's." Like, it was something that she was so excited about, and something that we'd all prayed for and stood for and believed for. But it was a time of angst as well, because there was uncertainty there. There was visas that had to happen. There was so much that had to come together that hadn't at that time. And yet the orchestration of it all, the timing of it all, was just phenomenal. And I'll never forget it, because it imprinted in me, how God is faithful. And when we trust and when we believe, and we don't know what the outcomes are, but she was 100% sure. She told us previously, and I hope, Jordan, you don't mind me sharing this, that she was going to meet her husband there, and she was going to get married at a certain time. And, it's like as if this whole thing was just all preempted. It was just like, it's happening. She met her husband there a year or so ago, and probably a bit longer. But, at the end of the day, I just feel so blessed to be a part of this, because I know that in my heart that, no matter how long it takes, no matter, we often look in the Web3 world, quick, instant success, and we need to actually get this sold out. We need to do this and FOMO and da. But no, we are strategically coming into this space, and we are not even really in here trying to, FOMO out the Web3 space. we're actually taking a step back and coming back into where people are, where we're meeting people at in their, so-called Web2 world or their real life situations. And we want to impact at that level. So I just want to leave it back to you guys because I'm so enjoying the conversation. But I just wanted to share a little bit of Madeline's story because I was personally involved in that. And it's blessed me so much, and just to see the journey. And it hasn't been an easy journey. I know Jordan, she won't share a lot about it, but the personal journey that we've all been on and they've been on has been, at times just like, what the heck, what's going on? How can we even, get through the next day, let alone the next year or so? It's just been a journey that has been phenomenal faith and phenomenal, daily just trusting and believing and coming out the other side to where we are now. We get to help save a college, guys. Let's go. Let's just get out there and do what needs to be done because New York City needs this. Like the people, not just New York City, but the whole world. It's just not about an NFT drop, guys. This is about impacting people's lives. It's impacting nations. Anyway, I'm getting off now.
Well, I would like to share. Let me just a second. Since you like the connection with the 6 days of labor and 1 day of rest, in this podcast I did hear they told something that I already knew, and I commented in several of our almost a year of spaces on Sundays with Tonya. And is this, maybe you don't know this detail. You know the word enthusiasm? The word enthusiasm is of a Greek origin, okay? Semantically, I forgot the proper word for this. The meaning of the word, the origin of the word is of Greek origin, okay? And it comes from two Greek words which are entheos. Entheos, they create together enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a derivative of entheos. And entheos means full of God. So when a person is being enthusiastical or enthusiastic, is acting with the force of God inside him or her. And it's just like a total world of difference. You can spot that in your family, in your workplace, in the street, inside a store. The difference that enthusiasm makes is huge. So that's the real importance of enthusiasm, because actually is the spiritual combustible, and the origin of the biggest energy you can have. So usually, if you make a poll, you will see, or an investigation, or do a paper of research, you will see that enthusiastic people usually get more results or achieve their goals more easily. And of course, they achieve them because they have such big copilot, in your right side. So that's very important. So I love to remember that, and a lot of people don't know that that's the real meaning of enthusiasm.
That's amazing. I also just want to quickly, before Tonya comes back on, is advocate. I'm an advocate for at least 1 day rest. When we grew up, I'm close to you in age. I'm actually 64 this year, and our weekends were precious. Our weekends were when we rested and we did things with our family. And I've been an advocate in this space since I came into it to have a minimum, not the maximum, but a minimum of a 1 day rest, because it's so important to actually rest, restore, rejuvenate, and reset. That is one thing that I absolutely continue to advocate in this space. And now I'll go back to Tonya.
I will catch you very soon, because on April the 10th, I became 62. So I'm very close to you. I'm going to catch you.
Let's go.
I'll raise you.
But with your project, it's kind of like, proof to the pudding, because imagine, once you hit your goal, imagine other projects that you can be opening up for other people, because, I always say that, lead by example, and to be able to help a school and then actually set something up for them, and because I feel when you get into the blockchain, it's really about the secondary, and if you really think about all the different utilities you're creating from this and creating awareness, and it's going to a good cause. So the sky's the limit as far as that's concerned, but it just takes one project to get completed, because now you can do and help other schools. I'm sure there's other schools out there that needs help too. I mean, it's where now, as people, we have to take our own, we have to take charge of how we want our children, how we want to go to school, or how we want to see our community be. So I love the fact that you have this connection. So how is it that the myth started today, right? How is that going? And tell us a bit more, and what kind of spaces have you been planning to get the momentum going?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think that once you have this initial collection, that we are able, to build out the community, and then that's just the starting point. The collection launching should never be seen as, oh, okay, they've done that now. And I think that that's that mindset shift of like, oh no, this is now just the beginning. We've got the community now. They're all onboarded. Let's go. Like, there is so much we can now do, and that for us is very exciting. So we've spent a long time in pre-launch and really building, as I said, a lot of different layers and intentions. And if you want to build something that's tall, you have to have deep foundations. And so we've made sure that we've got the foundations in place so that the building can be significant, and we can build something that really is, something that is of a great stature and a significant footprint. So yeah, we've been doing that. And so, yeah, our mint is open now. We have opened our mint, and it is going to look a little different than a traditional Web3 mint. As Lynn was saying, this is going to be, a lot of our community is actually going to be Web2. We've set the mint in a way where you can purchase with a credit card. You don't have to have a wallet, and making it as easy as we can for the King's community and their network and friends, and just people who want to be able to do something that can help, can very easily come in and purchase a spiritual being. And then from there, we, as a collection, will then be holding educational events and having a lot of support available to help people set up their wallet, to help people transfer their NFT, to do all of those things that, we, again, a lot of people are talking about onboarding, and they're talking about what that's going to look like. For us, we've put a very practical step in there where we are saying you can do this. Grab your credit card, join the community, and then we'll help you from there. And so it's important for us, for people to coming into Web3, have a safe place to come into. They have a place where they're going to be supported and going to be helped to set things up right for themselves. We all know, I'm sure we've all been part of some type of scam or other where, lots of things are happening in this space. They used to say it's like the Wild West, and in some ways it is. So we're just trying to create function and safety and security at every point for our holders. So this will be a big week of really just spreading the word throughout the King's community. The students are all very excited. They're starting to do their own efforts. And, the King's community as a whole has a Save Kings campaign. And so we really get to step into that now, and to really do our part and have spiritual beings on the table. And so it's a fun week. It's some Web3 spaces happening, bringing in some Web2 people into those spaces, some students from King's, some alumni, some, talking with some staff about coming on, just being able to integrate both worlds. So for us, it really is this merging of, it's a Web3 brand and collection, and there's a lot of sharing this with a Web2 audience, which, are used to have something being available and then jumping on to be able to purchase. So that was really the intent behind our mint, was that it was turned on, ready to go. And now we build it out slowly and solidly. and with intention and purpose, and excited for every community member that comes and joins the SB family. And for those people who are able, who buy 5 spiritual beings NFTs or more, we are having a very special honoring dinner where those people will receive 2 tickets to come and to join us for a very special thank you for sewing in greatly in this way. And so we're excited for that as well. Just always wanting to be honoring of our community and those who are joining this mission, because it is a collective effort. And that's what I love about an NFT collection. It's not just the actions of a couple or a few. It's actually a big collection of everyone doing what they can do, and that's what I love that this represents.
That's a nice touch. That's a good thing. And Migla, I mean, if you can meet personally too, it's like great, because we know that there is a total difference. I mean, it's something incredible. I love when you meet someone online in NFT world, whatever, and you have the chance to meet them in flesh and blood. It's just like it's some kind of little miracle. It's just like, oh my God. It's just like changing planes, spiritual planes. It's like, oh, here you are. I can shake your hand. Good. And so it's something very, something great about these incredible connections. Of course, geographically is not always possible. But for example, last year, starting with these spaces, I made like 120 friends in South Africa. When in my mind, I live in South America. When in my mind, I was going to imagine I'm going to become friends with people so far away. And they are so much alike us. I mean, you like Venezuelans. I mean, the kind of humor, the thing, I mean, it's incredible. So this is we have to be aware of these blessings, these technological blessings. And I always tell people, for example, people who are scared about AI and stuff, I say, hey, a lot of people, for example, put mistakes of AI. And I said, hey, hold down. I mean, the first Wright brothers plane didn't have bathrooms, okay? They just pushing that thing 34 meters. We were, I mean, give time to it. I mean, give time to the technologies. And another thing I want to share is that Nicolas Negroponte said once that people are scared that internet can change you. And he said very wisely, he said, no, internet doesn't change no one. If you are just like a person who like to be with yourself in solitude, internet will give you tools for being more with yourself, alone, being alone, because that's how you are already because of your DNA or your raising or your upbringing. And if you are a person who likes to be in group, internet will give you Facebook things and group tools that will help you to become groupal. So I think you are doing a nice and a real nice job. And I definitely adore the 11,111 number. I'm checking it now again.
So are you doing anything in the metaverse?
We're very interested and really excited about the metaverse. We haven't got any definite plans yet, but really open and really excited about what that'll look like, and how to do that, because as we're saying, in real life is obviously something that we are going to have and will love to do, but it's just not possible for everyone, and that's just the reality. And so to have something in the metaverse is important, because we want to do everything we can to foster that same kind of spirit of connection on whatever level that looks like. So I'll be interested to talk to you more and see what can happen in that space.
And I guess
Well, the next environment I'm building, I is going to be the copy of the Perpetual Life Church. Actually, it's it's the first transhumanist church in real life, but we also rent it out to church for Christian, Judaism, all different people. So maybe we can collaborate on that too. Hi, Stuart. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, look, I just wanted to jump in and just add to what Jody was saying there. This spiritual beings as a mission and a vision always started with the idea of bringing spirituality to Web3, and that meant that it's such a broad topic, it's such a broad experience, right? It's not something that can be corralled to one expression, in its entirety. We all come to a place where we might arrive there differently, but spirituality is something that I think is intrinsically what I like to call an apex question that people often have to get to. It's that point in life where they reach the highest point that they've, that they're, or the lowest point, but it's sort of this idea that they reach a point in their life where they have to make a decision. And out of that decision flows the direction of how they receive the world and how they interact with the world, right? And the idea that spirituality is right at the heart of that is something that we believe in as spiritual beings. Like we're fully, we're spiritual beings, but we're having a human experience and a fully human experience, spirit, mind, and body. They're all interlinked, they're all aligned, and I think the idea when people get to that question, they either go, yes, I actually want to recognize the spiritual part of me and I want to pursue that and understand that more. And that can happen at any stage of life, or they go the other way. They go, look, I'm not really interested in this at all, and it's not for me. So it's one of those things that we wanted to be able to say, okay, here's a platform that exists at scale, and I guess that's one of the other things about the idea of spiritual beings was that it had to be big. It's like, how do you have this vision and idea to bring spirituality and be part of discussion in Web3, which is all virtual? How do you do it in a way where you have scale? Like, what does it look like if you limit it? It feels like that's very opposite of what should be. So we started with this idea in this framework. Okay, let's bring spirituality. Let's bring the conversation. Let's bring the experiences that people have had. Let's bring specialists in as part of our team to make sure that, as we start to look at what spiritual health looks like, how does that manifest in physical health, how does that manifest in mind health, all these components started to become really apparent to us that we had to build flesh around those. We had to build an architecture that might not be because the lack of people in Web3 at the moment. Let's be honest, there's been a mass exodus out. We had to know that there had to be as impactful in real life as it is in the idea of bringing spirituality into this Web3 space, into the metaverse. So that's sort of where the starting point discussion happened, and from there it's like, okay, we need to be able to basically do twofold. We want to make sure that we're in the discussion, we're talking about on our Twitter spaces every week, mind health, um, uh, body health, and spiritual health, and how do they interact and how do they come together, so people can live the best version of themselves, and really explore and have these experiences. And also then in real life, we need to curate experiences where people can come and have a spiritual experience through the process of learning something or being a part of something that they wouldn't normally do. So I just wanted to add a little bit into that, just preface it by saying it's both a metaverse focus and also an in real life focus for holders as well. So it's something that it can't just be United States centric. We're in New York for a long time. Our daughter's there. There's so many people that are in this space that are stateside, but we know that it needs to be global and its expression needs to be global in terms of how we actually outwork this. So whether you're in South America or North America or in Europe or in the United Kingdom or in Australia, or Asia, wherever that seems to be, building something that allows for those experiences to happen both in the metaverse, but also in real life is something that we've been really, really purposeful about to make sure that it's duplicatable, so people, no matter where you are at all, hopefully you can get to a spiritual beings event and be able to experience the in real life component, but then also be connected with the meta component too.
Yeah, I mean, you can do. I call it hybrid. I'm trying to get people into this thought doing. You can live stream your real life stuff, and then have it stream into your metaverse, into the room, and then people can come in and literally, everyone will have to watch it. But I think that would be really cool because it would be part of your utilities. Because education is your utility. something that you can take a look at too. And now, I'm working on microverses that's built onto your website first, so you can kind of like have a little you can go in there and have a whole bunch of people talk together. It's a multiverse type, a multiplayer conversation. So it's like your own metaverse, but it's called microverse. It has like 9 different pictures, videos, PDF that you can install, and then through that you can put your portal. The portal can take into the metaverse wherever you want to go, depending what the what you if you want to put it out into the mountains, the moon, the star. I mean, it's the sky's the limit, right? But I'm just kind of curious because I see your project doing that. It just makes a lot of sense. And the funny thing is, like years ago, I have a friend. His name is Willie. He started a company called Faith, and we actually interviewed him back in about 12 years ago. I think it was way ahead of his time, but I'm telling you this, but you might want to look at New York Times to pitch to them, because New York Times wrote about him, and all it was a subscription model after Faith. So you would was at starting out was $9.99 a month, and he would send you a box every month with a scripture, a quote, and it's Christianity. It's called Faith, and it was really impactful. And he did it so like he would travel and get like different like South American towns where the ladies would make something, so he was able to give money back to the villages too. So, but I know, like, I was one of the media company that interviewed them, but I was thinking like you should try to pitch New York Times, because I think I can find the article and I can DM it to you, because it's kind of like what you're doing, but it's into the Web3. His was Web2 because he was using social media to promote his brand, but I think he sold it or did something with it, but he's doing Web3 now with something else. But it's something that I think that you guys are on point, because we do need some more spirituality, and spirituality can be anything, right? But also the one thing is like to have that peace and within yourself. And I think that's the part that a lot of people are missing in the community. And if they're able to like tune in, there used to be a workout live stream and out of New York. Is it called a daily grind, I think? But people would pay to go and be working out on part of this. So it was like you can sponsor a friend. If they paid, then you got in for free. Like that. It was a really interesting thing. And again, they started out like in 2008. For us back then, it was kind of cool. They was very small, and then they got bigger and bigger. Now they're pretty big subscription. I see you guys doing that, but with a Web3 twist to it. So I'm excited about that for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Definitely send me that article. I thank you for those ideas. And I guess for us, we're excited by all these possibilities too. And it's a really fun thing of, building is, sometimes it can be seen as like, oh, it's a hard slog, and it is a lot of work, and a lot obviously goes into building, but there's so much when you're doing something that you're passionate about and that has some real gravitas to it. I think there's so much energy that just keeps you going, because you can just see the vision of it, and just know all the potential. So it's always so great to talk to other people who operate out of that place as well. It's like that iron sharpening iron. It's just a real encouragement. So thank you so much. Just love just this conversation, being able to talk about these ideas.
So it's about 7:01. If anyone in the space wants to go ahead and grab the mic and have any questions for Jody or Stuart, and also like how do someone start? What should be the first thing to do to sign up with SDN's NFT?
Sorry, Tanya, just missed that last part of your question. Sorry, just got a bit muffled.
Like if somebody was listening to this, because I'm actually restreaming this as a whole show, so I wanted to also, because it's going to go across all networks. I wanted to be able to ask, I know a lot of people would ask me, like, so how do we start? Like, what's your website? What button do we click? Are there any questionnaire that we need to know about that you ask for people before they mint, or is this like anyone that wants to mint that can come and mint?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've made the process super easy. So you can just head literally to mint.spiritualbeings.io, and that is our mint page. All you will need is an email address and a credit card, or your Ethereum wallet, and you will be able to just very easily have a streamlined checkout process where you can select which payment option you would like. One important thing to note is I will give you a promo code to use. So you will get 25% off the cost of your spiritual being if you enter the promo code Save Kings. Just all one word, lowercase, Save Kings. Enter that into the promo code option there, and it will reduce the cost of the NFT by 25%. And so, yeah, you can then choose your payment option. If you have a wallet, if you're a Web3 native and you have a wallet already set up, or you can select for your spiritual being to go straight into there. If you don't know, have a wallet and you don't even know what I'm talking about, then that's completely fine as well, because we have you covered. You will get a link where you can, into your email, where you can view your digital collectible. And then when you're ready and when you would like to, we have information, and we will have support and guidance of how to set up a wallet for yourself and to take your spiritual being and put it in your own personal wallet. So the process is very easy. It's just mint.spiritualbeings.io. And our general website, if you wanted to just jump on and see any further information, is just spiritualbeings.io. So they are the main points. We're on Twitter and Instagram socials, but we've purposely made this process and the minting very, very easy for everyone to be able to do.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jerry and Stuart. And I'm excited about the Spiritual Beings NFT project and watching you grow. And you need to collaborate. I have a really adorable cafe you're welcome to use for your people to just go. It's in Spatio. It's open. I can make you a host if you need me to, but it's like really cool. I mean, we can hang your pictures and different things. You want to host like a meetup or something for people to get to know. For me, it's good because I just opened it literally like less than a week ago, and Vicky down there is my co-host for my All Things Web3 Twitter Spaces, but she's been meeting with me in there, and I've been meeting different people because it has tables and it has microphone and it's like this little bar in there. It's pretty bright. It's not like a club scene that you'll see in this typical space show. It's just like a typical, just think Friends Cafe. Think that's what that's what that looks like actually. But you're welcome to use it. And if you need help in anything, we can definitely collaborate. I really believe in your project. I think it's really important that your project is successful in a sense because you're helping a really good cause. Education is key, especially when it comes to liberal arts. And the arts should always be kept alive and thrived. And I think that that's the most important thing that we should do for the young people and for everybody, really. So, and then once we can prove this project works with a Web3 component to it, then the sky's the limit, right? Because once you do that, you can pick other locations all over. Because I know there's tons of schools out there, different projects that your team would be able to make a huge difference. And I think that's what all this is about with the Spiritual Beings NFT, is just to make a difference into the world. So, Carlos, the mic is yours. Let's go ahead and close up the space.
Well, I'm very, very happy that you were here today. And I really, really wish you the best of lucks. But talking about luck, I reread again once more in my life, maybe for the 1,000, maybe for the 11,111th time. A wonderful quote. I forgot now who said that, but someone asked it. I guess it was Calvin Coolidge. Someone asked him if he did believe in luck, and he was a believer in luck. And he said, yeah, of course, I do believe in luck. And you know something very curious? I have discovered that the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I adore that. So it's like, I wish you luck, and I know you're going to have luck because I feel that you are really working hard in your project. And we are very happy to have been here for being a platform for you, for speaking and leaving this recording for anyone to listen. And well, let's hope the best for the college, for the King's College, and the best for all your plans. So thank you for coming, and well, have a nice little rest of the Sunday, wherever you are, and well, we hope to have you back
Well,
anytime soon.
before we even go, I had invited Lars, NFT up here because I met him in his space, and I just told him, I said, you got to come here and talk about what you're doing, and I think there's so much synergy going on. But hi, how are you? You had a great space the other day. This is Tanya. How are you? I'm not in my personal. I was going to log into that too, but I just had too much going on. So, but I want to just be part of this conversation.
For sure. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Jody, Stuart, and Cecilia, stand up. Lynn, Victoria. I see many people that that I know from spaces from like the last, I would say, like a year and a half, 2 years. So it's very nice to see everyone and to come together for for the project that Jody and Stuart and Lynn are working on. So I'm happy to support. It's 2 a.m. It's a bit. I was about to go to sleep. I was listening, but I was like, okay, I will come and jump in, show my support, and I can share anything that you want me to share. But I'm here to support mainly. So thank you for having me and bringing me up.
Well, I appreciate you for popping up. We're closing out the space, but I want to have a recording of your voice in this space also, because we cut up everything in snippets. So, but we're gonna talk because I'd love to know more about your stuff too. But I'm gonna be doing Louis and music NFT because that's my other passion, is about the music and how it's going to be, and how the artists can be able to be taken over their music, and how they can tokenize their projects and different performances and everything. So I'm excited about that. But Jody, Stuart, any final words before I let you go? And Lynn, thank you so much for the connection, and I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Tonya. Thank you, Carlos, Lynn, Stu, Lars, everyone, just for this conversation, this space. I really appreciate you inviting us here, and thank you for your encouragement, your enthusiasm, and just your belief in what we're doing. It's really great to just be, in these spaces, and just to know that we are building something that's resonating with others. And obviously, yes, our heart is that we really do want to make a difference. So when we get to see that on so many levels, but even just in these kind of conversations, and just to hear the way that it resonates, it encourages us, it fuels us up, and it just, it's something that's a lovely thing. So thank you so much, and so excited to be keeping our connection going, and lots of plans for the future.
Jody, I want to thank you for in this case, the cause that you have. Our program, or our space name is NFTs for a Cause, and your cause is saving the King's College. And we, Tonya and myself, we are very, very proud of what we have achieved in almost a year of doing this almost weekly. We have been out during Super Bowls, Oscars, and stuff, but the rest of the Sundays we have been almost every Sunday. And what we are very proud of something, it's incredible the amount of different types of help that different people and different institutions need. So has been something that has been teaching us a lesson about the diversity of needs that this planet is full of. I mean, we have been going from helping people from the volcano in Tonga, people with victims of sexual abuse in need of mental health help, and for the tiger, you remember the tiger woman, and this case of
my typical tiger on Year of the Tiger, that I literally met them in November of 2021, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Year of the Tiger coming up. You guys should launch on the day of Year of the Tiger. They're like, oh my God, that's a great idea. And the next thing you know, we're in it with them, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good space.
No, what I mean is, this is like a baseball card collection, that you have different players. And I mean, we have almost every card is different. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I think we haven't repeat a subject, and it's incredible. Now this thing of this beautiful and useful thing of saving this college, and we have been. I mean, if we check the big list, the index that Tonya have made, you can just check that. Even if you go, I mean, you can go. Tonya always ask the guests how we can get grasp on you or your social media, your connection, your emails and stuff. But tell them about the YouTube where all the programs are listed, and you will see what I'm meaning. It's incredible the amount of diversity of help that is needed, and thank you for amounting to our shows, and really I wish you the best. Thank you for coming.
Lars, did you have do you have any final words?
Yeah, I think I have on based on what you just said. I really think that as people we love to help when we feel like we resonate with the cause. I think if you really dissect anything you ever see on anything that you ever do, the moment that you start resonating with it, you will start supporting in a different way. And funny enough, like I can this example right here, spiritual beings, I have jumped on when I remember I was in Barcelona last fall, and I remember doing a call with Jody to speak for spiritual beings, because also Lynn is a great connector. So Lynn connected us, and she asked if I wanted to come on and speak about like what Web3 and community truly means to me, as I have done certain things in it. But at that time, I just felt like I would love to contribute and help out, but I wasn't connected to the cause. I would love to help out, like I would love to speak. I would give my time. I don't mind. I don't, but I wasn't connected to the particular cause until they started sharing the particular parts about how they're intertwining their cause with an American university. Because I as a foreigner went to the US to study there, and that is why I resonate with the cause. And then I'm picturing myself, my college goes away, all the memories that I have, all these things, all of a sudden I'm like, I have a connection to it, I have a skill set in this, and all of a sudden I want to help beyond the point of just like giving my knowledge and sharing these things. So as a tip for anyone, because what I think what Carlos is saying is very true, is like there's so many things where we need help with, but please go look. If you resonate with it, it feels so much better to be helping, and it doesn't even feel like helping anymore then, because you're feeling like it becomes your own cause. And I think that's where belonging comes in. And if you combine belonging, a cause, and resonating with the cause, I think that doesn't feel like helping, it feels like you're part of it. And I think like that's a great topic to discuss, that we cannot help everyone with everything on the same intensity, but we definitely can give our time to everyone that is asking for help. And if you really feel like you resonate with it, I think there's nothing wrong with going the extra mile, because it wouldn't feel like you're doing any like hard work. It feels like you're doing something that feels really good. It feels like at the end of the
Yeah,
day
it's,
you
it's,
get
it's like flowing. It's something like a flow.
exactly.
It's natural.
It's
It's a
so funny.
natural
I didn't
flow.
even know you guys even know each other. I just met you. I was like, you gotta come to my space. You gotta meet these people.
Just, I wanted to say only one thing regarding what Lars was saying. The other part, besides different types of help that people and institutions need, is the connection factor. For look at this, you're trying to save the King's College, and the King's College has liberal arts. So go and figure. Imagine this. Imagine that you save the college, so you have you save liberal art students, and get the things going. They keep going for them, and maybe that if thanks to your effort, maybe there's some students can become great NFT artists and best-selling artists, and they will end up doing the same that you are doing now and giving the help with the 33%. I mean, it's just like I love this quote. I guess it was from Disney. in his early days in the autobiography or the biography by Diane, her doctor. I think it was Disney grandfather who said this. You can easily know how many seeds are inside just one apple, and you can count clearly how many seeds are there inside one apple. But it's impossible to know how many apples are there inside one seed. So you never know how far. It's just like the influence that a good teacher has on you. So go figure. I mean, the importance of helping educational institutions. I mean, we can be helping indirectly the person who is going to find the cure for cancer. We never know. You never know. I mean, it can be true. It's just like, I love the Henry Ford's quote. He said, if you believe that you can or that you can't, you are right in both cases. It's what you believe. Either you believe that you can or you cannot. You are right. So you decide which rightness you prefer for your life. Go ahead, Lars.
Plant the seed, and the ripple effect will take its cause. And you don't, like you said, I love the quote of like, you don't know what comes out. All you know is that you can plant the seed. You have control over planting the seed. You have no control what happens after you plant the seed. Maybe it flourishes, maybe it doesn't, but in the end, that's not the important part. The important part is that you're intentionally plant seeds, because that's what leaders do. Leaders, they plant seeds, and the good leaders, they plant it for good causes, and I guess bad leaders not. But I think that this is the type of thing where we have control over in this life. You can do something that feels like very small in a small community, but maybe there's one person in that small community that is on a bigger scale or a bigger network, and they start to spread the idea or the seed that you have created in them. Like, even if it's indirectly, even if it's 1 or 2%. I always say I have friends that are very set in their ways, and I'm a pretty location independent person. Like, they're not going to travel like I do, but I might, that 2%, they might travel just slightly more and might slightly experience more, and that's the ripple effect for me.
Right, right, totally. I do love,
I
I do
love
like,
it, but you know what? It's 7:20. I want to be mindful,
oh,
Carlos.
yes, yes, yes,
We
sorry.
can lead on to another one. But did you want to go ahead and do your closing thought? I know you want to share one thing, but we have with 7:20. We should be closing out by 7:30 at least. Go ahead, Carlos.
No, the thing, there was only thing I wanted to say. Jim Rohn, I adore Jim Rohn, and I think he has the energy. Talking about enthusiasm, my goodness, what a kind of speaker! And he says something so wonderful regarding seeds and God. And he said, "Look, if you plant a seed and the plant grows, that's a miracle. It's a miracle." So God was very good to us because he said, hey, listen, I can give you the miracle. The miracle is very easy. The only thing I need from you is to plant the seed, okay? And if you plant the seed and take properly care of the seed, I will create a tree. And Jim Rohn make this funny question. Imagine it will be the other way around. Imagine that God said, hey, okay, let's do something. I will plant the seed and you will make the tree. Come on, you will be late at 5 o'clock in the morning, just going crazy, trying to figure out how the hell doing the tree. I mean, he's giving us, what we have actually to do, the planting of the seed is so easy to do. What's the problem with humankind? The planting of the seed is easy to do, but it's also easy not to do it. So that's the trap. That's where you have to be. I mean, every morning you have to plan, you have to set guard in the door of your mind and to be aware of what you let in and what are you going to do. You have to be in control of yourself because these miracles can happen, but you need to plant the seed and take care of the seed, and then the miracle will grow by itself. I'm done. Thank you very much. And
Thank
Oh
you,
my
Carlos.
gosh, that was
I love
amazing.
it.
Carlos, thank you so much just for that incredible way to round this out. I'm just like so excited as you're talking and just really resonating with what you're saying. And I love how we were just all that idea of who knows what this is going to mean for the King's College in terms of who's going to rise up out of the King's College maybe and be a phenomenal force in Web3 or do something phenomenal because of this seed. And, the part of the mission of the King's College is actually to transform society by preparing their students for careers that help shape and eventually lead strategic public and private institutions. It's right in the heart of their mission. So it makes me so excited when I hear these conversations because these seeds are being scattered, they're being planted, and who knows what is going to happen out of this. As you said, we don't have to control that part. That part is we get to just watch and be in awe and just celebrate that together. So thank you.
Well, thank you to you, Jody, and Stuart and Lynn. And again, everybody, have a great day. Thanks, Lars, for being here. And what a great connection. I didn't even realize you guys knew each other. Very small world. Thank you, Carlos. We'll talk to you later, everybody. Have a great day. I'm gonna give you guys a little. Bye, everybody.
God bless you all. Bye bye.
Happy Sunday.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.